Hello and welcome to our December Pier into the Night. This is the last pier of 2020, but don't fear, we have more dives coming up all throughout the winter months of 2021. I'm super excited to be here with our lovely diver, Alan. I'm
Hello.
Of course Stena, your science specialist, and we're gonna talk to Alan a little bit here tonight about what it takes to be a diver in the cold waters of the Puget Sound and Greater Salish Sea here tonight. So tell us, Alan, what are some things you got going on?
Well, I am wearing a dry suit that helps keep me a little drier and a lot warmer. There's a thermal layer underneath, like when you go up to the mountain to go skiing. One of those is underneath to help keep me warm.
Good insulation, I
A lot of
like it.
insulation, those layers of air trap helps. I got my mask, I got my scuba gear, my regulators, also I can breathe and show you guys all the fun stuff down there.
We're so excited. I know we're going to be exploring a sunken boat tonight, so that should be pretty fun. And we're going to watch you jump in the water. You're going to do this lovely giant stride.
Yep, I'll do it right here.
Right off the back. Okay, perfect.
So get my mask on.
Get the mask on. He'll inflate his buoyancy control device so he has lots of air, so he doesn't just sink right to the bottom. We'll get to see him pop up and he'll let us know he's okay, or if he's not okay. Right, divers have lots of different ways to communicate, especially because they can't talk to each other. So
Exactly. If I'm okay, then you're okay.
That's the question.
We're okay.
We're okay. Cool. Are you okay
I am okay.
to go down?
Let's go diving.
Perfect, Alan. Excellent.
All right, I am good to go.
All right. And now we're popping over to Rachel over here. She's our tech guru for this evening. She is getting our little yellow submarine all set up. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on, Rachel.
Yeah, so this is the Chasing Innovations Gladys Mini. They've now come out with an even kind of cooler model that I'm hoping I can get my hands on. But for now, this totally meets our needs. It's got a really nice 4K camera in the center and then some really bright LEDs. It's on this 300-foot long cable that comes up to this cool little wireless hub. I've got to connect the iPad to this so that we can control the drone using this control mechanism here. So
we're going in.
we're doing it. We're going.
The drone is just a couple feet underwater at this point, and
Yep, I'm about at 3 feet. The water temperature is kind of warm. It's 54 at the surface here.
or
But
balmy
we'll take it down and see what we can see.
to the deep dark.
I don't want to hit the bottom, but already we've got some interesting things to see here on this piling.
Yeah, so Rachel, we have a nice white Plumos anemone. This is the world's tallest anemone, and they love structure like this. You can see all the plankton flying by. That will get captured by their feeding tentacles that are on the end of the plume, branched out like a nice palm tree. They kind of have a suction cup sort of disc that lets them stick to things, and you might think they don't move a lot, but they actually can creep around to some extent. So while they don't move a lot, they sure can move a little. And here's some other great Puget Sound characters. We have the leather star, brightly colored, kind of has a wet leather texture. These are some sea stars that seem to not have been quite as impacted by sea star wasting disease, based partially on our observations of the hundreds of them
many
at the Fox Island boat launch. We've seen more of these stars than any other species, so it's good to see.
So I'm gonna
stars.
take us down. We're about 15 feet down right now.
And of course, those pilings are covered in barnacles. These are again another filter feeder. They're scooping up the space-like goo that we're swimming through this evening.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of stuff in the water. So we're at 20 feet now. We should be getting close to the bottom. I don't want to get too far away from this piling, but of course we've got
You can see our diver's
a
light.
diver.
Looks like Alan is signaling us that there's something to look at, so we're gonna go cruise over.
Hey, we're it
See
coming.
what Alan sees.
Let me go a little faster. Of course, there's a bit of current here in the harbor every time that we do this. But we should be able to see something kind of cool.
Another thing we notice is the bottom is primarily a muddy bottom, so we're being as careful as we can not to stir up the sediment and cause a huge cloud, because it makes it hard to see. And so it looks like we have a nice...
Ooh, maybe a net, or maybe there's something underneath there.
Uh-oh. This is a great time to talk about some derelict fishing gear. When you have...
All right, I'm going to come around
Okay, so you don't get caught.
so that I don't, well, so that I can get the right angle on it, because it looks like I need to.
Well, while Rachel's
kind of.
cruising, some problems that occur with fishing gear that doesn't have any fisher folk attached to it is they still catch stuff. And this actually looks kind of like that
Oh, construction looks
yeah,
like.
which it seems like it has a similar appearance to a net, so it could cause similar entanglement problems. But yeah, kind of that like barrier. Yeah, barrier grate.
Oh, hey there,
grating
Krabby.
they'd use to
I think he's gonna
keep you
maybe
going.
grab me. I can't.
Uh,
I think Alan's steering for us.
Nice.
All right. There's something underneath this edge of the net here.
If not on tonight's dive, a future dive would be great for us to come back and remove things like that from our habitats that do not benefit from having entanglement hazards. I'm seeing a lot of crabs in this shot. There's to be a red rock crab. It's about to get clouded out by the sediment.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's me or Alan. We're both pretty active down here. He's, of course, got really big fins, and I just have little tiny rotors, but hopefully. Oh, there's your favorite algae.
Yeah, we've got some nice Turkish towel. It's got that bumpy texture. It's a species of red algae. There's 3 types, red, green, and brown. I'd like to say you could tell them apart by their colors, but sometimes
That does
the red
not
looks
always
green and
work.
the brown looks red.
Oh, sorry. So I have a low power mode, but look at that gunnel.
Oh yeah, nice little gunnel peeking out of that red. A red gunnel and the red algae.
Beautiful.
Really pretty. They look a lot like an eel, but believe it or not, there are no eels in the Puget Sound, just eel-like fish.
Eel-like fish,
They have
yep.
the 2 pectoral fins that set them apart from true eels. And we have a really big eel-looking fish called the wolf eel. It gets up to 9 feet long.
Wow.
And again, isn't a wolf or an eel, just a really big, cool fish.
Just a really cool fish. I would be so excited if we saw a wolf eel.
Gosh.
I'm gonna just kick out a little bit more of my line here and see what we can come across.
You can see some shell debris on the floor of the sound here, the ground.
Yeah, lots and lots of bivalve shells. That tells you that this is very productive habitat in terms of plankton, because all of those are filter feeding animals. Oh, and there goes a little crab. They
Thinking of
saw
our-
us and ducked down. Oh, and there's a big crab.
Oh yeah,
investigate
hiding in
you.
the shadows. The red
Couple
rock
fish.
crab. You
2
can-
of them.
Oh yeah. You can tell a red rock crab by its dark black pincher tips and the kind of brick red color.
Although we saw some the other night on our night
were
beach
kinda
walk that were
purple.
purple,
Yeah.
which was like, excuse me, what?
What are you doing? So
What are you doing?
look for those black pincher tips if you want to know.
Right, so I'm gonna cruise this way. I think we should be getting closer to the boat, just based on the sound of the bubbles. So yeah, here we are.
Interesting.
So we don't recommend sinking your boat out into the sound, but if that does happen, it can become habitat if it's not removed. And so especially like fiberglass boats or little aluminum dinghies and things like that do. Oh, hey, look, there's...
Nice
Oh.
California sea cucumber and a red rock crab.
Yeah.
The California sea cucumber is sometimes kind of fake me out in a way because they look a little octopus-like.
They do. They're the
I
right
got a
color,
little
texture.
excited. But
They don't
California
move
sea
very
cucumbers
fast.
are equally cool. They're an echinoderm, just like that sea star we saw at the beginning of the program. And that means spiny skin, which the California sea cucumber definitely exhibits what looks like, all these pokey protrusions, but they're soft like jello. So it's a little bit of a
They're
facade.
squishy.
And
They're imposters
all
in that.
around, yes. But I, as a hungry predator, I might be scared to take a bite of them, even though they have 5 rows of delicious mussels. Humans definitely consume
Right.
California sea cucumbers.
I'm noticing a chitin here.
Oh, yeah.
That little oval shape there. Let's
Chitons,
see.
of course, are those 8-plated snails, very prehistoric, and Alan's
Alan's trying
flashing
to
his light.
show me something. This is why I need the upgraded model of submarine so that I can pivot a little easier.
Yes, yes.
Because that is not easy to do with this drone. It's still amazing to me that we have the technology to be able to just kind of zoom around.
And I also really appreciate that Rachel is really good at driving the drone. She makes it look easier than it is, for sure.
I don't know that I do that, but I do try. I get better with every dive, I think. This is what I like best about our December Pier into the Night, because we, believe it or not, you can't really tell based on what you're looking at here, but this is kind of the least amount of plankton that we will see in our waters. So this is actually pretty clear and good color. If we were to do these dives in, say, July or June, we would see pea soup that we'd be swimming through. What are you trying to show me? Is that a gumboot?
Show us. Oh,
Looks
ring, ring.
somebody's phone.
I have a feeling Alan's taking a phone call on the job here.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I see one of my favorite creatures right on the edge here of this wall, demonstrating their incredible ability to walk on vertical surfaces. This is a kelp crab. Kelp crabs have these very, very pointed, sharp tips to their feet, and what that does is that allows them to get a purchase on these really rough surfaces like we're seeing here. So we're looking at a kelp crab that is walking up just the straight vertical side of this barnacle encrusted habitat here. Super cool to see. Ooh, and you guys, that current is so difficult to stay in one place with. You can see I'm not driving at all right now. It's just pushing me right along. One of the other reasons why it's very difficult to pilot a drone like this. So I'm gonna see if I can get away from this wall and go look at this anemone right here. And looking at Alan, there he is, looking good. So these Plumos anemones, like Stena mentioned, are the tallest, and they come in a variety of colors. This white color is really spectacular, but they also are kind of orange and gray. They're really, really pretty when the water is supporting them. During a low tide, which is when we're out during the summertime and there's low tides during the day, and we go do a beach program, you'll see these, and they look, most people describe them as hanging balls of snot, if you can believe that. They, with the weight of the water inside their tissues really makes it difficult for them to kind of hang in there. So they just droop. All right, so let me back away from this so I don't get hung up too hard. But I think we will maybe give it a try to go on the inside of this structure. I can hear Alan kind of coming up. His bubbles are getting closer. So I have to be a little bit careful as I'm traveling in here, because I don't want to get sucked up on the surface of this at all. So let me go ahead and aim my drone down a little bit so that we can see what's down on the inside. And like we mentioned before, any permanent structure, oh look, we've got some fish. These look to be like shiner perch or maybe even surf perch. lined perch maybe. It's hard to tell. Fish can change color at night, and they often do that. And then the lights are a little bit startling to them, so I don't know that they'll let me get super close enough for an identification, but we can kind of take a look here at some of the wreckage of this dinghy. I said in a presentation earlier today that we were going to explore a shipwreck, and people said, "There's a shipwreck in the harbor?" To which I had to say, no, it's a dinghy wreck. This is not a very large vessel, but you can see this cool wheel here. Might be the helm. Cool to examine that.
But I think we're gonna have a nice dry spell for tonight's presentation. So the only person getting wet is Alan. Thanks, Alan.
No, that's a diver.
There's that nice
Back
cylinder of compressed air that Alan is breathing off of. And
Oh, he's got us a red rock. Oh, a lady red rock.
I was almost gonna say, okay, guess what?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, we'll do it again. But that nice big broad belly flap definitely lets us know this is a female kelp crab. She would hold her eggs underneath that flap, and thousands of little baby crabs would be, probably can't say birthed, hatched out into their zoea phase, which is a planktonic form. So tiny little baby crabs will be swimming through the water column as they grow and mature and eventually settle out to grow and develop into a big, lovely crab like this. Of course, another really cool thing about that cycle is that crabs have to molt. So that hard exoskeleton actually unzips, and that crab will pull all her soft body parts out, the claws, the legs, the eyes, the antennas, all those mouth parts.
They all go loose
All
with
gets,
her.
yeah, slipped out of the shell, kind of like you'd pull your hand out of a glove, and then she'll grow a brand new, bigger shell, and that old molt just gets left behind. And sometimes, back when we did beach walks with lots and lots of people, you'd get folks really concerned and really worried because there's all these dead crabs all over the beach. But really, upon closer inspection, if those shells open up and there's no stinky goo inside,
You can even smell it from like 3 feet away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have to bend down to know that that's a dead crab, because whew,
And then
stinky.
you get kids running up to you with, "Look at this crab I found," and it's dead.
And you're like, please don't come any
You're
closer.
gonna get on the bus, buddy, and no
Oh.
one's gonna want to sit by you.
Make sure those crabs are not in your pockets when you leave the beach. Oh, hey there, bottom.
Composition turns out kind of smelly process.
Super stinky.
Nice seaweed.
So we're at 26 feet down here at the bottom. It's 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's a lot warmer.
It's
than
way
I
warmer
was
than up. It's
expecting.
about 45 degrees in the air temperature. So we are.
We were really excited to make the joke that it was going to be like equally wet and cold
On the
above-
surface and on the below.
as it is below.
But he's toasty warm down there.
Yeah. There's some type of brown algae, kind of.
Oh, wait.
definitely in that
There was
deteriorating
there's a
phase.
pink. Do you see the pink shrimp?
I didn't. Oh,
Looks like a broken
yeah,
back shrimp.
A little shrimpy right
A
here.
little something crustacean-y.
Yeah.
Pretty. You like those pink ones.
It's like that it's, using that algae to really contrast.
Ooh, hey,
the body.
fishy. Another perch maybe?
I wonder if that's.
Or a baby rock?
Mm,
Looks like a
like
Puget.
a
It's moving
little-
too much, but
oh man.
looks like a
Are you?
tropical squirrelfish. It looks like a Puget Sound rockfish to me.
It's-
I don't know. I am
it's
not
got
the
some
rockfish.
vibes going on.
I'm not the rockfish expert. That is
has a
Stena.
pointy nose.
Yeah, but they kind of do when they're babes.
I'm like, why is it blurry?
Yeah, I know. It's the reason why is all that rain that we had earlier. The freshwater and the saltwater kind of don't mix right away, and you get this layer on the top of the freshwater, and then when you hit the salt, you get the halocline, and when the two mix together, it makes things get out of focus quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, this is what's exciting about not doing like solely live piers, is we're gonna do some post-production, and we're gonna Google, okay,
What is it?
possibilities could this be? We're gonna send it off to our rockfish friends in California who we do community science rockfish dives with, and they'll help us out. So hopefully we'll have
Get
some
to-
good answers for you.
Get to say, what
help
is
with
it?
this.
Let me Google.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm honest, I absolutely love it when I have to look something up. Because it is, it means I get to learn something. I get to be curious because I never just go, oh, it's this, and then stop there. I always like, okay, where does it live? How long does it take to mature? Like, how many babies does it have? What kind of, what kind of diet?
Food. Yes.
People always want to know what kind of poop does it have. What?
This is where we hope harbor seal. Do you want to come swim by our diver, please?
Yes, please. Something took a big breath behind
Yeah.
us. That's always interesting. So, I mean, our goal is really to show you, what can be seen here, but so much can't be seen, right?
Yeah.
The big things can just swim out of the way. The daytime animals may be tucked away. All right. Well, I'm thinking it might be a good opportunity for us to kind of back away from our diver a little bit and maybe head up and take a look at some of the tube worm pilings that are up here.
Sounds good.
But I have no idea where
Where are we?
my drone is. So I'm listening for diver bubbles, and they're fairly close. So I have a feeling it's just like 10 feet that way. But I think we're going to surface now. And of course, my surface is like hyper speed. I feel like I was trying to find him, but
This is since it's hard for us, we're going to flash our lights on and off at Alan to let him know that, hey, we're wrapping up the dive. And then,
so he's looking at
unless
a
he finds
piling.
something really cool, and then we're like,
No,
okay, this
he
is
found a piling. He oriented me, so here we go.
Thanks, Alan.
And he's at the piling right at the corner of the pier here.
Perfect, yeah, I think if
So
we go
this is
down
like-
again, will we see that leather star?
I think it
Or
was
will we see the
higher.
same
Ooh, but
spot?
wait, fishy.
Ooh, ooh.
Go back. Plonk. Okay, but there's hydroids. Those are
Yeah.
cool.
Hydroids are great. They look like plants, but they're actually animals. Wow.
Nothing we've seen tonight has been a plant,
That's
which
true.
surprises a lot of people, I think.
The only true plant in the Puget Sound is eelgrass.
Which I love eelgrass.
That could be a fun take the drone
Spectacular.
through eelgrass
Oh,
bed.
ooh, what are you?
There's
What are you?
some nice sugar kelp based on those.
What is that?
blue
Oh, kelp crab
ocean.
elbow.
Really big elbow though.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice. Definitely.
I would say beefy, chunky. He works out.
Yeah.
He skipped his leg day, but he's got
Who
some
needs
real.
leg day when you got beefy biceps like
Yeah, so cool.
Also, you can tell that's an older crab because it has a barnacle that is
Yeah.
mature on its carapace. Again, we talked about crabs molting. So if you see a crab and it's covered with other life, you know it's been in that molt for a long time. And crabs do have a terminal molting phase where they kind of hit their last molt and then they're
Oh,
stuck in that shell
Stena!
forever. Yes! That is a beautiful sea slug.
Yeah.
That one, you can really see that classic like white orange tip for the candy corn nudibranch
So
or
cute.
nickel
I love these
or
guys.
janulus. Wait, everything has so many names. That is gorgeous. I think sea slugs
Right.
are one of the most bizarre.
We're
but
being
beautiful
taken
things.
somewhere by our diver friend.
Okay.
Or the current just got really strong.
The current guy.
Let's
This
see.
is where. Okay.
Diver's here. Okay, hey diver.
We're not in your paws. But
Well, what you got for me? Trying to show me something else on the other side? I could stare at nudibranchs for a while. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to suck him into the propellers. They are as delicate as tissue paper.
Harbor WildWatch, not Harbor Wild
Blender.
Blend.
Goodness.
Okay.
All right, I'm actually gonna pop over here for a second and whip around. So we can just come at this piling a little bit differently. Maybe see what Alan's seeing.
I do love all that brown kelp on the seafloor. You get
Yeah.
these big mats, and there's all sorts of life hiding in those blades of brown algae.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, if I was a little tiny creature, I would
Oh
be
my gosh.
wrapped
I
up in
am.
that blanket for
Yeah.
sure. All right, well, there's our nudie friend. All right, let's come up. I think I can safely surface.
And as we come up, we might.
Yeah, I'm
see a
kind of
lot of
trying to
barnacles, but
keep it on the piling a little bit.
yeah. And notice there's, different creatures growing at different heights on the piling.
And here you can see why those ochre sea stars, their role of creating habitat is really important, because if you have this kind of just slew of only barnacles, there's not a ton of diversity there, right? But if we can have predators come in and disrupt this surface by eating whatever's here, that's going to create new places, new opportunities for different species to kind of come
We
along.
talked about the crabs that have their baby stage just floating around as plankton. All sorts of other animals have a similar life cycle where, as a itty bitty baby, they're just floating around looking to stick onto something. And
Okay,
so
and there's my line, and there's my diver.
I think Alan's telling us.
Yeah, come this way.
We've started braiding our pilings here.
Yeah, that's
What happened?
this is the advantage of having a diver come with you, is they can see the bigger picture, where the current will just wrap me right around piling, and it may not be possible to see what I'm doing. So they're here to rescue me when we get in trouble, right?
No.
Thanks. All right, diver says bye-bye.